One of the hardest things about the FGC, and will always be one of the hardest things about the FGC, we have no overall governing body, but that's not a bad thing because overall governing body could easily be swayed and such. So for example, let's say we had an overall governing body, like we had the NBA company, we had the FGC company, and they were in charge of running Evo and CEO and Combo Breaker. Well, you know, Street Fighter 6 just got over 2,300 entrants for the first week of Japan's World Warrior Online event, which is the regional qualification tournament in the Capcom Cup. They had over 2,300 entrants. And at that point, if we had an FGC company, how could you as an FGC company not be just like, well, every event is going to be super Street Fighter 6 focused now, right? The interest is going to be where all the players are. But by having no governing body, by the fact that Bandai Namco is doing their own thing and NRS is doing their own thing and ArcSys is doing their own thing, it keeps the power more spread, right? It keeps the power around in different areas a little bit better. I would be scared of a governing body for the reasons of it's almost impossible to have a governing body be unbiased in a lot of their decisions. Decentralized, thank you, Pro Wrestling's Real. Yeah, essentially, it makes it so a lot of the people in charge are decentralized, and it prevents bias in that way. That's why stuff like the NBA has to have the players union and the coaches union. They need to have bodies of power to fight for the different areas, because normally if it was just the NBA, they would do stuff in their favors and screw over a lot of other owners, players, coaches, and refs. So they have their organizations to have official power to be able to argue on their behalf. That's kind of how, if we ever did get to a main governing body, how we'd want to do it. But again, it's always kind of random, right? Because like, let's say we did have a governing body and then we decided to create like, okay, well, here's the NRS governing body, here's the Street Fighter governing body, and so if all the events start like, oh, 50% of the stream is Street Fighter, and all the other governing bodies like, what the hell, they could fight that. But like, when do you add the Riot governing body? When do you take away a governing body of a scene that isn't doing much anymore? Like, do you get to do those kind of things? Do you get to be like, well, I'm sorry, I'm just picking a company right now. Please do not use this to judge anything. But if it was just like, well, SNK governing body, your games don't have enough entrants. Clearly, I'm picking anything because Fatal Fury did just fine at past Evo. So, but like, they could just be like, you guys aren't garnering enough. We're disbanding your governing body. You know, like, it's just kind of a tough thing. You want it? Yes, absolutely. You want a system of checks and balances. That's what I mean. That's why I like not having a governing body, because it creates a stronger system of checks and balances. So it's a hard situation. How do we deal with pro cheaters without a governing body? Again, each of the different regions just have to, each of the different companies have to just start doing stuff, right? So if you cheat at a game, at an event, then the event and the company that makes the game have the option of banning you from events. Whether everybody follows suit is up to them. Because like, what if somebody cheats in Fatal Fury, but they also play Street Fighter? Do we ban them out of Street Fighter? I don't know. Well, Capcom needs to make that decision. And each of the individual events, they can say, hey, we have reports of blah cheating in Fatal Fury. He is banned from Fatal Fury. He is allowed to play in other games, but he is banned in Fatal Fury. They could just say, he is known for cheating. He is banned from attending our event. And then it's done, right? It's up to every individual kind of organization to do that. And all these TOs aren't like stuck in their own boxes. These guys are talking to each other a lot of the time too, right? So I'm sure a lot of them would discuss it between each other. which is why you get situations where, like, literally at the same time, Evo, Combo Breaker, and CEO will be like, yep, I ban, like, we ban, you know, kind of things like that, right? So, you know, but I don't think that that's a wrong way to do it, having everybody kind of make their own decisions for that. So I am the first commentator to commentate SF4 at Evo, right? Not really, because in 2010 was the first year where we really just started commentating. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but it was never really a formal process. And in 2009 and 2010, it was just everybody just jumping on a microphone and commentating and just like making, you know, just like, hey, I'm gonna come up here now. And in fact, I didn't do Evo Grand Finals until Fudo's year, until the third year. I didn't do it the first year. Did anybody do it the first year? I can't even remember now. But the second year was Seth and Adam Sessler from G4 TV, right? So again, a little bit of our culture was being erased, and that's why everybody turned on Adam Sessler. And honestly, I feel like was one of the catalysts of why Adam Sessler is so bitter at gamers right now, because that whole situation where he did commentary did not go well at all. Yeah, that's right. First year might have been Keats and Skisonic, right? Because they were two of the first people doing commentary at Evo at all, honestly. Right, the ban should be like a WADA ban in sports. Caught doping in one sport, consequences carry over to everything, but then again, they are the World Anti-Doping Authority. Right, and again, that's what we would expect if somebody, okay, let's just say, let's take it to extremes. Someone was caught bringing a gun into an event, right? So now you're banned. Or let's not make it that terrifying. Let's just make it like someone carrying a knife, right? And they get banned from an event. Like, the other events better follow suit, right? Because if they don't, who's gonna, like, if that guy's allowed into another event, like, everybody has a right to be like, nope, I'm not going anymore, peace. Since most controllers come with auto fire function, is someone actually policing to make sure it's not turned on? Now the pros are hiding their hand motions with cake boxes.